Okay, hello again, folks. Bringing you the second tutorial today. Last time we were talking about adding beats in Ableton, so we started off with our kick, and we have the side chain kick, a closed hat, and a snare. So let's just review what that sounds like. Okay, so actually I had another snare in there, but I just went ahead and deleted that because I've decided to use this one, and I've renamed it. How do you do that? Yeah, just like this. Yeah, renamed it snare. So today we're going to be adding a little bit to this, but first I'm going to show you how to set up your EQ and compressor and put some effects on the sounds. Alright, so let's dive in first with the kick. So let's click the kick here. So we see the kick here all by itself, and we're going to open up our browser here and go up to the second link, the Ableton instruments and things. And what we're going to do first is put on an EQ8 right here. You can either double click that or you can drag it down just like this, right? Okay, now the kick. Let's go ahead and solo this kick by pressing this solo button here and take a listen to how it sounds, yeah? Okay, it sounds good, and you know, for this kick we've used a sample, so it's coming from, I don't know where we got it from, maybe the Vengeance pack or another sample pack, but you know, sometimes those kicks have already been EQ'd and compressed, and you know, so you really have to just take it and do it by your ear to how it sounds. But I'm going to go ahead and just show you how to do it, put the EQs and stuff on anyway. So let's go down to the EQ here. Alright, so the kick normally is in the lower range, so you can either click the one here or you can click it over here, right? So we're going to take this frequency all the way down to 30 Hertz, and we're going to put a filter on it right here just to roll it off. And let's go down to 4, and we're going to move this 4 down all the way down to I don't know, around the 150, whatever. Let's just take a listen to it first. First we're going to put the filter on it here, and let's take a listen. You see how it affects the sound. Okay, so you can hear it getting lower, right? So you need to find the sweet spot depending on the sound you want. I like a little bit of the pop, kind of the highs of this kick, so I'm going to leave it. There's the pop where the pop starts there, so I'm going to leave it there at about 1. Now normally I would take this down to, you know, even down here to the 200 area or something, just so my other instruments, my mids and highs, can sit in here without the without clashing with the kick. But I like a little bit of that pop, so I'm going to keep it at 1 kilohertz there, right there today. Okay, so now we need to add a compressor next, which is here, so I'll just double click that and it automatically puts it here, right? Okay, so this actually is already set up, so let me put it back to 0. There we go, and we have minus 10 decibels on output. Let's move this up to 0. Do it here, 0.00. There we go. Okay, so it sounds pretty much the same now. Now if we take a look here, we can see there's no compression on the kick. So what we want to do is take the threshold here and move it down until we see a little bit of compression. You can hear the kick getting louder, right? Okay, there we go. Now you can see a little bit of compression here, and the kick has got noticeably louder. So again, you want to find that sweet spot. I think I'm going to have it at minus 12 dBs anyway, so I'm going to keep it at about minus 12 there. It's your own personal preference, right? And you can search the internet to get the times. But yeah, like I said again, you want to do it by ear most of the time. Okay, so there we go. Now, I can't really see the levels here. I can see it's probably at about minus 6 dB. I'm not sure, but I'm going to move this up first to show the levels. So we can see it's minus 690. And also I'm going to move this over here where I can see the meter now. So you can see the decibel level here. So that's about minus 6. Well, you can keep it there. And as you finish your song, you can adjust the level. But I like to go ahead and adjust mine from the start. So when I get finished with the song, the mix down takes less time. So I'm going to move this down. It's at 695, so I need to go around about 5 so I can see the meter here. Okay, it seems to be hitting here at about minus 12. That's where I like to start with my instruments, minus 12, to give me enough headroom over here on the master to add other instruments. Okay. Alright, so that should be enough for the kick. Now we don't need to add anything here to the sidechain kick because it's not playing, right? You can see it's already going at 12 dB, but it's not playing, so we don't even need to worry about that. Okay? Alright, so let's stop this. Let's go to, let me move the snare over here. So it's just going to be first. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and solo the snare and see what that sounds like. Okay, sounds pretty good, but we want to take some of the low frequencies out so it doesn't clash with the kick. Alright, so let's click the snare here, and first thing we're going to add again is the EQ8. So there we go. Now, we can do the same thing as before. Click the 1 here, right, and I'm going to put this filter on it here just to take these sounds, the low end, out of it. And I always like to hit the 4 and put a filter on it also. I like to keep it about 18 just because the human ear can't really hear frequencies louder than, sorry, wait a minute. Let me edit that. Let's see here. What was I doing? 18.8. Nope, not gonna work. Okay. Alright, I'll just move it like this. Hit my control. Okay, there it is, 18 kilohertz. Alright, so let's play this and see what it sounds like and move these around. Let's go back to the 1. Okay, so you can see the sound doesn't really get affected until this area. Right, let me listen closer here. Okay, so it starts around here. So I'm going to leave it at around 400 because it sounds like it's still a full noise range there, but now we have space for the kick and the bass here, so the snare shouldn't be interfering with those sounds. So let me move this on up to 400. Here we go. That's good enough. 401. Okay, so let's take a listen to the snare and the kick now together. All right. So I need to do the same thing here with this one. I need to move it over. Actually, I want to move every channel over so I can see the meter. Okay. So we can see the snare is kicking in a little bit over the 12 range, so it's a little bit too loud. So I'm going to bring it down to around 12. I like to have it like about -2 on my kick, so I'd like to have it around 14. But we haven't added the compressor yet, so let's go up here and add a compressor. Now let's see what Ableton offers here, right? Now actually you can see one here is the drum snare compressor. So if you want to use this preset, I mean, it's up to you. There's also another snare compressor here. I think I've made this one myself, so let's take a look at Ableton's first. Let's just double click that. Okay, so you can see here they have moved the attack, also the release, and they actually do have it at -12 here, yeah. And they have increased the gain here by 3.8 decibels. Also have moved the knee and the ratio. So let's take a listen to what Ableton's preset sounds like. Okay, it seems to have a little bit more snap, but actually we're looking here is not much compression going on, so I'm going to move this down, back down to 0, or close to it. Sorry. Alright, and I'm going to move this threshold down a little bit. Okay, there we go. We see something going now. Just a little bit. Okay, we can't even see anything there, so I'm going to take it down to about 18. -18. Okay, there we go. So that sounds pretty good going on. So let's take a look back up here. We can see where the snare is. Actually, let me stop this and we can get a good reading on it. Let's play it again and see where it's at. Okay, so it's about 1343 here, so let's move it down. You can move it down with this, or you can also move it down here, yeah? So 40 is about 6. Let's put about 6. Let's stop it, play it again, see what it is. Okay, so that's pretty close. It's about 14, -14. And like I said before, I like to have it a couple of decibels below my kick, because usually the snare sounds a little bit hot, and then it causes problems in the final mix. Okay, there we go. So it's sounding pretty good so far. Let's stop this. Alright, now let me show you 2 ways to do some other effects. For example, let's say we want to put a little reverb on this snare. Now, you could add the reverb here, yeah. You can put it here, just double click it, and you can set it up, right? Here's your dry and wet. This is what's going to control the amount of reverb that's on it. So let's let me solo this snare. Let's take a listen to it now. Okay, so you can hear that has quite a bit of reverb on it. I don't really like to have a lot of reverb on it. I like to take it down to about 10. You can hear it right at the tail end. It sounds pretty good, but they all have different presets here for you, so you can just play around with these and, you know, see what you like. Okay, now that's one way to do the reverb on here, but this will, you know, the more effects, the more instruments you put on here, the more it's going to affect your computer, right? Your power. So the better way to do this would be to put the reverb on the return channel over here, A or B, and if you want to put another one, you can just, you know, insert return track right here. But the easier way would be just to add the reverb here. So we got the reverb selected, so let's add it to this channel right here, the reverb. Now as you can see, you have A and B on the return tracks. Now the audio is going to the master, so it's going to be everything here playing, right? Now, let's listen to the snare here without any reverb. So you see here also the A send and B send. This is going to be giving us the reverb sound because we got it set in the reverb A. So if you want to add the reverb, you just push this up, right? Okay, so that would be full reverb. And still you can, you know, adjust this dry wet how you want it down here, or you can just, you know, take it down. Again, you have to do it by ear, right? So that's just a little reverb there. You can put it all the way up. Let's see what it sounds like. See what it sounds like with the kick. Okay, it sounds pretty good right there to me. You can definitely hear the reverb coming through. Okay, so that is the other way to do it, right? Use the send channels, and I can, it's already renamed it here. It says reverb, right? So also, let me go ahead and show you why I'm over here. I might want to use a delay on my hats. So let me go back over here to the simple delay right here. Double click this. Now the simple delay goes onto the B return track. So I'll show you how to set this up in just a minute. So let's go on to our hats now. So let me take this off. Let's put this back on. Solo the hats. Let's see what we have. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to start the same way as we did before. What's first? The EQ8. So let's double click that. Here it is. Now the EQ or the hi-hats are going to be up in this top range, right? So we're going to have to take this one and move it all the way over here. So let's go ahead and first click this and do like I did before with the 18. Drop that off at 18. Okay, there we go. All right, let's click the one or click it over here and roll it off. And let's play it until we hear it being affected here. Okay, it started to change here. Okay, so you can hear it has a little bit of bass in it here. Mids, low frequencies here. I like to... You could take it even up all the way up to 1, because that's where we drop the kick off. But I'm going to take it back to about 600 hertz. I like to keep my hi-hats around there, and also like vocals I like to do around the same range as this right here, right? Okay, so we're not adding anything here. If you wanted to add some, you know, some highs or anything to it, you could just adjust the Q here, right? So let's check for, if we wanted to move this up, right? You can see it going up here if you want to get some more, you know, high end off of it. But I like the way it sounds there, so let me keep that at 71. And let's put this up to 0. There we go. Let's check this one. 71. Everything's okay. All right, so let's hear what it sounds like all together. Okay, sounded pretty good there. Sounding clean. Okay, let's stop it. Now we're gonna add a little compressor to the hats. Okay, here we go. Again, you can see it is already set up. Let's see if we have a preset for hats. Okay, I already have one made here, so let's just switch this out. You click this here, and double click, and it will automatically change this. Okay, and maybe, well, let's just don't do that. Let's just drag the new one in, or double click it. Okay, so it looks pretty much the same, but I'm going to solo this out and give it a listen and dial it in. Okay, I usually like to have my hats around the 15 to 20. I think I'm going to take it down to about 20. Negative 20. And we can see here we have this is, move this back up to 0. Now sometimes you're going to need to move this output up, right? Because you can see here the compressions is probably about, about 2 decibels. So you might need to move this up sometimes, but I like to use it, just do it by moving the volume here. Okay, so we wanted this to about, I like to keep it about, like I said, 18 or sometimes 15 to 20. It just depends on what hat it is. Let me listen to it with everything. Let's just do it again. Okay, so we can see here it's about 20, negative 20.9, so I want to move this up to, what, about 9? Yeah, about 10.1, negative 10.1. So now it's hitting at 20 exactly, right? So now I've got the drums where I want them. And all EQ'd up, compressed. Now, remember we put our delay here on the B channel. So now if I wanted to add a little delay to the hats here, I'm going to use the B send because we're on the B return track over here. So let's just move this up and take a listen to it. Okay, let's solo this here. Okay, so you can hear we have a little delay on. Let's stop and see how much we have. Okay, it's not much, right? That's because we don't have any feedback going over here. So you can adjust these however you want. If you want it 100%, put it up to 100%. It's going to delay more. Now you can hear it really kicking in, right? All right, so there. Now it's just a couple of delay parts on it, but let's move the feedback so we can hear it a little more. Okay, that's just 50%, so let's take a look, see how it sounds now. Okay, so you can see that kind of tails off there. Sounds pretty good. So let's play everything again and see what it sounds like now. So it actually gives us a little bit of a groove, right? Sounds like we have more hats going on than just, the one hat. So let's take the delay off and see what it sounds like. Straight hat. Okay, so it gives a little groove to it, right? Okay. There you go now. Okay, so now let's go back in our arrangement thing here. Okay, so we don't have anything recorded here, right? So also looking, once you get all your sounds in here, so let's just go ahead and record like we did last time. I'll set up let me move the snare here. So we have an intro 1, intro 2. So let's just record a couple of bars here and we will see what it sounds like. Okay, we're going to hit record here and start it off. Okay, there we go. All right. So you can see here we recorded about, what is it, 32 beats. Let's just stretch that out. Make sure it's even, yeah. Okay, now in this part you can also take a look over here at your stuff, right? Here we have everything that we put on it. First, here's the instrument, which is in the, what do we use? The sampler. And here's the EQ. So if you want to mess with the EQ frequencies here, you can move them here, right? Just with your mouse, or you can choose each part of this. So for example, this is the one frequency A, which is going to be here, and this is the 4 frequency A, which will be here, right? So you can always change these things when you are in this view. Okay, so for example, just let me show you how to do something in here to draw on the or change the EQ here instead of here. Alright, so we got our kick here. This is actually 30 hertz. You can see it moving down here. If you look down here as I move this, right, it's going up and down, right? So we had it at 30 hertz, and you can see it puts the number up here. So you can see that it's 30 hertz right here. Alright, so let's say I want to take the kick out here. So I just double click here, it adds a point, and I want to move this up to about 400. So the kick should be sounding very weak now right here. And this is, as you can see down here, it's moved, so there's only this sound playing, so it's not going to be very loud. It's going to sound very minimal. But I found that about 400 is the hertz you need it at. So let's just take a listen to this. I'm going to draw it in here, double click here, and just take the kick down right here in this part, just to let you hear how it sounds, right? So it's going to be more prominent here, and then it's going to be taken out here. Here we go. Okay, so that's how you would take the volume. You could do it with the volume, but it's better to use the EQ to take the frequency up and down like that. Okay, so sometimes we would do this, especially if I'm building up to a break, or say, for example, this is the break. I might just take it like this, and might even just take it all the way over here and let it gradually build up into a break like this. Let's take a listen to that. There we go. Right? So that's how you do the EQ here. And also you can choose the compressor. You could do something with that, whatever you want to do. It's got everything here. And you could go into your mixer, which is our main stuff here. We don't really want to mess with the volume here. You want to set your volume, over here. You want to set your volume in here and kind of leave it the same, and you can go back and adjust it later. You don't really want to move it too much here. But here we also have the panning, and we have the reverb here and the simple delay here. So if we wanted to use the delay here, we could do that. Same thing here. You could put it like this, all the way up or down. And also you have a you can mess with the delay down here. So we have our tracks here, right? So you can see here we have the device on. So for example, if you wanted to add a delay to these hats, you could do it here, and also down here you could control the different parameters on this, right? So this is the dry wet here, right? So we could put that on, and it's all the way up. We have it all the way up here. And if you look on the simple delay here, we have it all the way up here to 100. Let's say we don't want it all the way up to 100, right? So we could either change it here, which will be, you know, it's going to affect all of the channels, or we just leave it the same. And down here, we can change it just by doing what I said before, like the same thing we did with the kick and the EQs. Move it down, right? If you want less delay, or if you want to start it out here, 0, and build it up and let it delay out. See what it sounds like. Let's try that. So let me do this with the hats here. Here is the simple delay. So let's take it. It's all the way up, and let's move it all the way down. Okay? There's no simple delay here. Now, let's just say I want the simple delay just to hit on this last note. So I'm going to double click this, put it up. So now the simple delay should come in here, right? Let's move this over so it's right on. Okay, and down here we have the dry and wet. I want it on 100%, but let's just say I want it to start kind of weak and then build up to 100. So let's move it here. And let's move it like this here, 0 to 100. Alright, so let's solo this, and let's see what it sounds like. Okay, so you can hear it delay out, right? That's another way you can do it. Okay, but I just want to leave it the same because I'll go back and change that stuff later. I had the delay all the way up on the hats because I liked the way it sounded. So let's take a listen to see what it sounds like again. Okay, so we have the delay there. Now if we wanted to take the delay off here, we just want the delay happening here, right? If we wanted to take that off, all we do is go down here and it says, simple delay, device on, device off. Okay, so right now if we double click here, we can see it's on. Now we want to take it off, we just take it down to off. So now when we play it, it should stop playing. Right? So there's no delay. Right? So sometimes you want to use this, take it off totally, because you don't want it to delay out. You want it just working in here. Okay, but I'm going to keep it up because I like the way it delays out there. Yeah? Okay, so there we go. Now, let me go ahead and add one more part in this tutorial, since we already covered the return channels and the EQ and the compressor and some effects. I want to add some percussion to this. Now, if you remember in the first tutorial, I told you could do it two ways. You can do it like this, right? Add this simpler here. Where's the simpler? Go back up here. The simpler. Or you could use the drum rack. You may want to use the drum rack for this one because you can put several instruments in there, and if you're going to use you know, the same EQ, compression, and everything on those on your percussion, then this would probably be the best way to go. All right, but I'm not going to use that today because I'm going to do the same way that we did the snare. I'm going to choose a ready-made loop and put it in and just take out the parts that I want to use. Okay. So what we're going to do first is add an audio track here. So I'm going to go back into my samples here, and let's see here. Here are some percussive loops. This is under the Vengeance samples again. I think I'll just stay with the Vengeance samples since those are the most popular. So what I want to do is play my song, and I want to listen to a loop that goes well with the rest of my drums. So let's play this. First, let me go back in and loop this so it keeps playing over and over. Alright, here we go. Okay, so I want to take a listen here and see what sounds good, or what sound I'm looking for. sounds pretty good. So I'll just use this as an example. I'll just drag this one over here to this. Alright, so let me take the volume down a little bit. This is the full loop. Let's put it in solo. Okay, click down here, you can see. Okay, it sounds pretty good the way it is. But actually, I only want to use a couple of noises out of this. Alright, so what we're going to do again is the same trick I did before with using the envelopes. Make sure you hit your E here. Yeah. Go with the volume. Now, let me take out this first section here. See what it sounds like. And even the second section here too. Let me put a dot in here. Alright. Okay, so I don't want to use the snare here because I've already got my own snare. So let's take the snare out and the hats. See what we got. Okay, move back. I know the other snare's here. Take this out. Okay, let me take this out, just see what it sounds like. I actually like the way that sounds, so let me bring that back up. Move it over, I just want to dial this in, get it going right, yeah. This has a little bit of noise here, so we got to move this over and take it out. There we go. Okay, so I haven't used any of these hats, so let me go ahead and take this part out. Okay, I want to move this over about right here so it flows in smooth. And of course, I've got to fix this. This over a little bit. Okay, so it sounded pretty good now. So let's take a listen and see what it sounds like. With the rest of the music. Alright, let's see if we go. Take this EQ off of here. Just keep it down. And loop it from right here. Okay, so that sounded pretty good, right? So I've only used a couple of the sounds in this loop, as you can see. Now I would do the same thing as I did before. I want to change this to, let's see, percussion 1. Because I know I'm going to be using some other sounds here. Now let's go ahead and put the put an EQ on it. EQ 8. Here we go. All right, cut this down and down to 18. affected right there. You can hear it at the 1, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna keep this one at 600 also. Okay, so there are my compression, percussion elements. Let me add a compressor to it. Let's check this compressor one, see what we got. Let's just put in a normal one here. Alright, compression we will take to about 25 probably. Let's take this up. We're getting quite a lot of compression there, so let's take this probably about about 20. Now we're getting a lot of compression here, as you can see, right? It's actually going over. Don't worry, we're going to move this volume down over here. Okay, let's stop and see what we got again here. Let's stop this. Go again. Okay, that's around the 18 mark right there. I'm gonna move it up just a little bit, give it a little more sound. Okay, there we go. And if it sounds a little bit soft to you, you can move it up a little bit more. You're just gonna have to watch your levels over here, right? I try not to get over the -6 dB, just so I can leave room for mastering. But there you go. That's how you do it. We want to add a little delay to it. Give it that little groove. Yeah, it's moving. Maybe a little much. Take it back a little bit. Okay. Alright, so there you go. That is drums part 2. In the next tutorial, who knows? Let's wait and see. Alright, if you have any questions, something you want to see, just leave a message in the comments section, and I'll try and get to it. Alright, have a good one.